Okay, we are live. Oh, and my phone is going crazy. Okay. All right, we are live. You guys, happy Fearless Friday. Sorry, we had a few technical difficulties this morning, but we are here and it is such a good Friday, you guys. It's not the, is it the first Friday? Nope, it's the second Friday in July, but that's okay. It is halfway through the year, you guys. And I was thinking, what better way to kick off the last 6 months of the year than to talk about vision board planning? So today we have a real treat for you. Those of you that are our friends from Athena's know the amazing Steve Gamlin. Today we are going to talk about vision board planning, and we are going to talk about what can you achieve by New Year's Eve. So there's 6 months left to the year. If you made a vision board in January and you didn't hit your goals, that's okay. Reset the goal. It's all good. There is still time to reset. You've got 6 solid months. So without further ado, I give you the guru of vision boarding. This is Steve Gamlin. Thank you so much for being on the show. You've been talking.
Thank you, Dana. Absolute pleasure to be here. I love talking vision boards and visualization, and being what somebody once said, what sets you apart? And I said, well, here's my goal: to be the least full of crap person out there talking about visualization.
I love it.
And vision boards, because there's too many of those. Hey, let's have a vision board party with wine, cheese, crackers, scissors, glue sticks, glitter, and magazines. Well, wine and scissors, bad combination. But if you got the glue stick, at least you can put your eyebrow back on. So let's talk about how they really work and what people can do in the second half.
Yeah, exactly. So tell us, who are you? Who is Steve Gamlin, and why are you so awesome?
Well, thank you first off for that. I mean, gosh, that early in the show saying the word awesome. My mom would take a picture of this, put macaroni and glitter on the edge, and hang it on her fridge.
I love it. We can make that happen,
Yeah. My name is Steve Gamlin. I have enjoyed the past, since I was 11 years old, when I knew what I wanted to do with my life. I wanted to be a radio DJ, wanted to be a stand-up comedian, I wanted to write books, and I wanted to be a teacher of people, but not in a classroom setting. And here we are. I enjoyed 10 years in the radio industry. 28 years owning my own DJ company, 7 years of stand-up comedy, and I'm about to celebrate 18 years as a professional speaker and coach, blending visualization, motivation, inspiration, and a lot of humor along the way as well.
I love that. I love all of that. We are super duper lucky to have you today. This is so cool. So tell us about vision boarding. No glitter, no glue sticks, no. So how do we do it? What do we do?
What people really need to understand is to not just slap a bunch of pictures of material things. And this is what happens a lot, because people don't know what they don't know. And I get it. I'm not making fun of vision board parties or saying they're worthless, they're useless. Right. I'm just saying I'm here to help people understand at a deeper level what visualization is all about. It is an extension and not just material things. Here's what I work with all of my clients: their careers, their finances, their money, their physical health, emotional well-being, their relationships, the ethics and morals and values that guide them, their faith and spirituality, and their connection to the world in a real way. If you start off by setting one goal in each of these categories, you're going to put yourself ahead of most of the rest of the world who doesn't even keep those things in mind when they're setting goals. Too many people do what I call the vision board starter kit. They slap a picture of a Lamborghini, a yacht, a mansion, a private jet, and a helicopter. That's where they start. Or if they want to ever write a book, they put a picture of Oprah, because if Oprah talks about the book, they'll sell 1 billion copies. Right. What I do is encourage people to understand, here's reality, here's real life. Here are all the different parts of your life that are operating together, not a balance between, integration of 24/7. And all of these things, these areas of our life, lean on each other. If you take better care of your physical health, eat better, exercise, get enough sleep, you're able to work more. When you're able to work more and be focused, you can make more money. When you make more money, you can buy back a little time and have freedom and do better things inside your relationship. If you're guided by good core values and your faith, if that's an important part, that's going to make everything else better. It's going to create the best version of you to engage in every single part of this life. It's not a get rich quick scheme. I absolutely despise that about my own industry. All these people with their snake oil and all the BS out there. My job is to be here and to help people to understand, even just 1 year at a time, to get their lives moving forward and just keep moving every day and get closer to their goals. It's not like this. If you can achieve a goal like this, maybe it's not a big enough goal, and maybe you're not stretching yourself enough.
Well, don't they say like if your goal doesn't scare you, it's not big enough or something like that? I've heard
Yeah,
that.
I hear that a lot. And people ask me, Steve, do your goals ever scare you? I'm like, they scare the heck out of me.
Right?
On a regular basis. And one of my goals is to weigh 210 pounds by the end of this year. And I set that goal 14 months ago when I weighed 247. When I weighed 247 and I was talking to myself in such a language, not to be damaging, I didn't call myself a fat piece of crap. I just looked in the mirror and said, dude, you are soggy. Let's do something about that.
There you go.
When I thought, oh my gosh, 37 pounds in a year and a half, how the heck am I going to lose that? Well, here's my visualization tip. I wrote down the number #210. It's stuck on the ceiling of our basement on the air conditioning duct right above my workbench. So every day when I'm doing my laps, walking a mile, I high five that. When I'm on my bench underneath, I look straight up at it.
Yep.
And every day I just keep showing up and showing up and showing up. And right now I'm around, I think this morning was 221. So almost there.
Halfway there, right?
But
No,
keeping it more than halfway. Oh yeah. In a number I didn't think was possible 14 months ago.
Yeah.
I'm that close to hitting it with 6 months left. So let's continue on a daily basis to show up, to do the work, to make the best decisions, to honor, to live with integrity, and to not celebrate a 5-pound loss by eating a whole pie. Let's be smart about how we do this.
Yep. Honor the process with integrity. I love it. I'm typing the golden nuggets. We got golden nuggets already, you guys. First 5 minutes. I love it. So what do you say to the people that are like, oh, well, I could do that easily, or because I think those are the people that they look at it. So I'll give you a perfect example. Okay. So the beginning of the year, so Kim and I, oh, by the way, hi, Kim. She said, hi, Steve, I love you.
Hello, Kim. I adore you as well.
And Ron says, hi. Ron is a serial viewer of ours, so I appreciate you being with us every week. So
hey, Ron.
On December 1st, Kim and I literally held hands, jumped off a cliff with no parachute. And we had a little bit of a rocky fall, but we landed on our feet. So we started this business, and we were like, okay, we started off with a 90-day goal, and our 90-day goal was from Grant Cardone. I'm sure you've heard of him. He's in your space, and he may be one of those snake oil people a little bit. But we started off doing a 90-day goal to be $1 million company.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, a startup marketing agency in Rhode Island. And I was like, we can do this. We can do this. So we didn't make it. I think we got further than we would have if we weren't on such a crazy, scary goal challenge. But what's your advice to people like that are like, all right, I'm going to do $1 million in 90 days. I got this. And then they fall short.
Mm-hmm. First off, don't get discouraged by that. You might be disappointed for a minute. It may sting, but like you just said, you had the ultimate comeback to that. We got a lot farther along than maybe we thought was real or possible or potential.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that set goals like this, and I was one of them one year. I went to a Tony Robbins event in January of 2020, and I told my best friend who I brought with me, I'm going to make $1 million this year. Now, at the time, I'd never made more than 62.5.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to make $1 million. Well, here's what I didn't do. I didn't plan how to do it. I just thought this $1 million of opportunities was going to fall out of the sky. So what I encourage people to do when you set a big goal, it's great. First, it says right here in my coffee mug, see it, be it, do it. And that's a really important thing. We can see it and we can say it that we're going to make $1 million. Then we have to be it. Who do you have to be? What do you have to do? Who do you have to emulate? Who do you have to be like to be able to do it? Who are the people out there maybe in your industry who inspire you to want to do what you do the way you do it? What are they doing out there? Recognize the steps. Most of these people are on social media. Many of them do podcast interviews or have their own podcast or a YouTube channel or whatever it is. Maybe they've written books. Maybe you can go hear them speak live or just catch a video with them. Carefully observe what people are doing who are already out there living the life you wish to live or creating the success you wish to enjoy. Get a keen eye.
Yeah.
And really watch what they do and just emulate them. It doesn't mean we're copying or we're stealing their clients. Emulate their behavior. Watch what they do. And more importantly, watch what they don't do. And don't do those things. if they're out there talking positivity and talking about their industry on social media, great. If they're not out there ranting and being political and talking about all the negativity, great. Don't you do that either. Mm-hmm. So be very focused on who you need to be and then do it. Take the actions every single day. We can't take days off. It's very rare for me to go a day without posting something positive on social media. And what has that done? That has brought awareness my way. That is why we're here on this conversation. That's why I was on a radio show in England earlier today, because my stuff goes all around the world. People keep reaching out to me. Do you want to be on my show? Where are you? They'll say where they're from and say, well, you're going to love my accent being from New England, USA. Let's rock and roll. So it's just by doing what all of my mentors and coaches and people who inspired me have been doing for years, my success has grown. And I'm known now as the vision board guy because I talk about visualization in practical terms every day.
So I love that you said that you had the hashtag 210 everywhere. You would high five it and everything. So I remember I've been in Mary Kay for a long time. And I remember I was studying under a pink Cadillac director. And she told me that when she earned her first pink Cadillac, she printed out pictures of it and she put it everywhere on her fridge. I mean, her house was plastered with pink Cadillacs, right? So by the time it came down to, a couple of months in, as they were earning this thing, her kids were like, Mommy, how close are you to earning the Cadillac? And her husband was like, hey, what's going on with that pink Cadillac thing? Like everybody around her was talking about it. People that came to her house were like, why is this thing plastered all over your house? So I think there's a lot to be said for number one, having the goal visible, right? Because life is loud and there's a lot, right? Like I'm in marketing, and what is my purpose for my clients is to add to the noise and be louder than everybody else. Like that's what we do. We try to make their message louder than everybody else's. And there's gazillions of messages coming to all of us. So to remember what you're working for, why you're working for it, why it's important to you, number one. So I love that. And then the other thing too is like just doing something, right? I think a lot of us are paralyzed in fear, and we're like when we were going for the 90-day $1 million challenge, I was just like, all right, what are we gonna do? Let's go. Every day I was like, let's go. What are we gonna do today? Who do I have to talk to? What do I have to see? What do I gotta watch? What do I gotta do? And I lost some of that momentum because I did get in my head and I got discouraged. And I was like, all right, we didn't make it. We got further, like I said, we got further than we did, but at the end of the 90 days, I was kind of like, well, we didn't make it. We got further than we did. Let's do another 90 days. Let's go, And that's why I think it's important to talk about this today at the midpoint of the year, because guess what? We did a 90-day challenge. We missed it. We did another 90-day challenge. We missed that one too. We're on a third 90-day challenge. We might miss that one too, but I'm going to keep doing those 90-day challenges and keep moving it forward until we get to that point. It might take me longer than someone like Grant Cardone, who's got millions of, and when he did this 90-day challenge, he actually made a $10 million business, but he didn't have his phone. He didn't have his contacts. He couldn't use his fame, his fortune, any of that stuff. But he also has been doing this for 30 years, right? So for those of us who haven't been doing this for 30 years and we don't have the skills, what are those things that you can recommend for us besides just doing it, right? Just jump off the cliff with no parachute. I did it. I'm fine. What kinds of things can you say to those people that are like, oh, I'm afraid to do that, or, oh, I'm afraid to take this step, and they get paralyzed in fear and then they don't do anything? Because doing something is better than doing nothing.
Yeah. One of the first things is ask yourself, and if you got to go somewhere and put all electronics away, put pen to paper, ask yourself what you're really afraid of. Are you afraid to fail and you're going to be embarrassed in front of other people? Are you afraid to start because you don't know what to do? I mean, that's a pretty common one. Do you have imposter syndrome? Do you think that, I want all this, but I don't think I'm worthy of it. I don't think I'm talented enough, beautiful enough, smart enough, whatever enough to achieve it. And I don't want to be in the spotlight because I don't think I deserve it. I struggled with that for years. I was very self-deprecating. My self-talk language was so brutal up until my early 40s that I would constantly put myself down, and I was basically telling myself I was not worthy of success. Now, I did it using humor, so it was very cleverly disguised as getting laughter from an audience. But I finally realized in my early 40s that my language was keeping me down and pretty much guaranteeing I was not going to hit my goals because I kept talking myself out of it, and I got afraid to take action. In one of my questions was, oh my gosh, what if this succeeds? What if this goes wildly successful beyond my wildest dreams? And all of a sudden I'm in demand all around the world, and I'm being asked to speak everywhere, and I'm writing more books and all this pressure. And I'm thinking, wait a second, what are you afraid of?
Right.
Some people are as afraid of success as they are of failure. And that's crippling.
Yeah.
To a lot of people, because it keeps us from going for it 100%. So put pen to paper, figure out, and be honest with yourself, even if you have to stand in the mirror. What are you really afraid of? What's really holding you back? You may find out it's some old wiring up here from something earlier in your life, an example that told you to not go for it. I highly encourage, first off, speak with somebody qualified to help you untangle that wiring and fix it. Don't just listen to the motivational gurus who say fear is false evidence appearing real, because I think that is the biggest steaming pile of crap in the world. If it's keeping you from taking action, it is real. And don't let anybody tell you any different. Speak with somebody qualified to guide you through it, to put some healthier wiring connections in to help you move forward.
Yeah. And it definitely can be done. I mean, you have to put some work into it. But again, like you said in the beginning, there's no quick fix, right? There's no, catapult into success. It takes doing these things and doing, the small things. And I remember in one of my trainings too, I remember this training about the 99-cent notebook. And it basically was one of the more successful people in Mary Kay. I learned a lot in Mary Kay, so I apologize. I talk about it a lot, but I learned.
Oh, no worries. I love it. That's great. I love when a company, and I know that Mary Kay does this, invests so heavily in personal and professional development, both, because it takes both. So I love hearing these stories.
Yeah. So it was Kristen Sharp, who's amazing. And she talked about the 99-cent notebook. And basically what she said was, she writes down everything. And I started doing this. She writes down everything she did for the entire day in a 99-cent notebook. So when she woke up in the morning, she had a list that literally said, brush teeth, brush hair, have a healthy breakfast, meditate for 10 minutes. And then, she went on to her next thing. And her next thing was like, work out for 10 minutes, drink 8 ounces of water. So she did that because, and I'm so guilty of this too. So we have so many things to do on a daily basis, right? I run a company. I have a 5-year-old. I have 3 dogs, a goat. We have a fish tank. I mean, we have so much stuff going on in my life, right? Like my house is insane. Like clean the house, do this, do that, right? Running a business. It's just crazy, right? We wear a million hats. But writing down just even the simple things like that, I mean, when you wake up in the morning, that's less things off your brain, right? And what happens when there's less things off your brain is that there's more, your brain is freed up from those simple little things that now you can go do the complicated things, So I loved that training so much because it was just so genius. It was so simple, but so genius, because I realized that I would get stressed out by all the things on my to-do list. And when my to-do list starts to get like, oh my God, this is a to-don't list. That was really helpful for me, just to free up my brain to do these higher level things.
Yeah. And that's what that does, is she's chronicling the development of really good habits. And habits are so important. And there's so much disparity between how many days it takes to actually form a habit. It's anywhere from 21 to now I've heard people say it's up in the 80s of how many days in a row. But by doing that, what she's doing is she is scheduling, even subconsciously, when she writes it down, oh, I did this today, I'm going to get up, and it's going to increase the likelihood she's going to do it tomorrow. So she is scheduling and implementing and building these neural pathways of all these good habits and good things that she's going to do every single day. What I add to that, what I do first thing every morning, is write in my gratitude journal. And I write down, I don't just broad brush, I'm thankful for my health, for my wife, for, my business, blah, blah, blah. Because some people do that every day and they throw out the same 3 things they're thankful for. Well, by the 11th day, how much fire goes into that? They're kind of doing it by rote memory. They're not actively part of it. So what I do every morning is I write the date and I write the words good stuff, and then 1, 2, 3. And in less than a line each, I write down my 3 favorite moments from the previous day. They're not the same every day. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to write that we had this conversation. I already know that in advance. And I'm going to be thankful for that. A year from now, I'm going to remember, hey, I was on with Dana a year ago. We talked about this. So adding that, what you're grateful for every day. Here's what it did for me last year. 2021, a lot of people referred to as dumpster fire part 2. I wrote down 957 positive moments. You think my year was a bad year? Nope. You think I went through and complained every day about it on social media? Nope.
Yeah.
I built my business, and I actually became a better speaker by not being able to be on stage and having to communicate, because that's one of my goals every year. The best version of me I can be, grow my audience, grow my base, solidify the foundation. I actually became a better speaker having to focus on this little webcam for 27 months between live events.
Wow.
And I recently got on stage for 2 live events so far this year. I've got more scheduled.
Yeah.
And my goal of being a better speaker has been achieved, because every day I get up and I say what I'm grateful for. I say these conversations that I got to be a part of, podcasts that I got to be on, my regular radio show. I'm on 7 days a week on a radio station in England,
oh my God,
sharing positive messages, because I wanted to grow my influence. So every day I've got to create something positive.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. You'll love our group, because that's basically what happened with our group. We noticed that, during the pandemic, there was a lot of negativity. And I said, we need a light we need a beacon of light in this to cut through this noise. Kim's saying, click, baby, click. Get on the roller coaster. Click, baby, click, she says.
I can explain what that means if you like.
Yeah,
it's funny. I almost did right there. So I'm glad she did it.
Yeah.
For anybody that might be overwhelmed by this, or think because we're now in the second half that they're going, well, at the end of summer, in the fall, I'll do it. Well, in the fall, then the holidays come. I'll just wait till January 1st. Today's the day to start. And you are on an old wooden roller coaster. And this is one of the most important things that I teach and coach people on. No goals are instant. We've already said that. Mm-hmm. You're at the bottom of the first hill of an old wooden roller coaster. And the top of that hill is any one of your goals. Mm-hmm. Now you want to pull that bar down. You want to make sure you've also got the best people around your ride. That's why I love the story about Cadillac. The other person, Mary Kay, who told her family about her goals, so they kept cheering on and supporting her. You want to have the right people on your ride. Then you're going to pull forward, and what do? Click, 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 click. You have to do all these meticulous, sometimes even mundane and boring daily activities to get closer to that. You can't start halfway up, and you can't skip any. You have to do every single click. When you get to the top, when you've done everything it took to achieve whatever goal it is in the second half of the year, so you can be a second half superstar. Those are my favorite people in the world, second half superstars.
Yes.
You go over the top and your eyes get big, your heart comes up in your chest, and then you go on a ride that you couldn't stop if you tried, because you did everything it took on the first side of that hill to get there. And at the end of that, when you celebrate even the smallest one of your goals, you celebrate the heck out of it on that ride. When you get to the end, if you truly enjoyed that ride, what's the first thing you want to do? Get on again. Look at one of your other goals, or set an even higher goal. Get back in line for the roller coaster. Now, here's what I also encourage people to do when you get back in line. If you see somebody there who's wide-eyed and scared like you were on your first ride, you ask them, is this goal-setting vision board thing new to you right now? You're a little scared? Yeah. Tell you what, come sit next to me. Let me explain a couple things to you on the way up this hill. Then you get to look over your shoulder and coach people the next way up. You never know who you'll meet or the difference you'll make. You might save somebody from getting back scared onto the merry-go-round, which just goes round and round on the same pattern all day long and never gets anywhere. That's okay if that's where you want your life to be. I'm a roller coaster guy.
I love it.
So click, baby, click is the mantra. It's a hashtag that I use with all of my clients. And whenever they have a breakthrough, they are under order to tag me on social media and say, hey, Steve Gamlin, hashtag click, baby, click. Because I reach out and I go, what'd you do? Tell me. And I want, if we can get on a call, it's even better, because I get to watch them light up when they tell me. So that's the origin of click, baby, click. So thank you, Kim, for that. I love it.
I love that. I love that. That's amazing. We got to start clicking, Kim. We need more clicks. So tell us about, so you do private coaching as well. Mm-hmm. So tell us about that. What does that look like? What's your ideal client? What kind of people do you work with?
Yeah. What I started to do for years, I have either in live events or my Vision Board Mastery audio learning program. It's 10 steps right from where you are today to beyond building the board and all of that. What started to happen was people reaching out going, Steve, I loved your event. Thank you. Steve, I went through your whole program. Awesome. Thank you. And then they would go, now what? How can we keep going and growing? That was about 3 years ago. So I established a group coaching program. and also some one-on-one coaching. Now they've both been, with the pandemic, we kind of put them both on hold. They're both going to get relaunched this summer.
Awesome.
A couple of calls a month, people get to come in the group coaching program, and then the one-on-one coaching, we kind of work together to figure out the best schedule for you. But it's a way to keep going, keep growing, keep clicking, not get shut in by all the voices around us, to just stay connected with me, who is constantly on the roller coaster, to continue having conversations and growing, have somebody cheering you on. I'm in my recording studio. I have laughed, I've cried, I've jumped up and down, I've screamed, I've cheered, I've danced with all of my coaching clients in this room. I am the biggest cheerleader that some of these people have. And I'm so honored to coach with so many people.
I love that. I love that. So you have a course. Mm-hmm. So people can go through the course. Is it a paid course, a free course?
It is a paid course.
Okay.
It is 10 audio modules, but it's not one of those overwhelming courses with 20 DVDs.
Yeah.
Back when I first made it, it's 10 audio modules, all added together are 74 minutes and 52 seconds. It is the least overwhelming course in the world, but it's also, and again, I'm biased because I created it. I spent 3 years and over 200 hours in my recording studio to create 74 minutes and 52 seconds of really good audio.
I bet it's a badass 74 minutes and 52 seconds.
It is. Yeah. Like I said, all the modules together add to that. And people listen to the one module, then they take the action. They get to the next one, they get the handouts, they take the action. It takes you from where you are today to building the board. And this is why I say vision board parties. I have a t-shirt line, t-shirts hanging on the wall. It says on the back, friends don't let friends attend vision board parties. And the biggest reason is because they don't do the prep work. In the 10 modules, the module number where you actually get pictures to build the board is module 7. Everything else is internal work and assessments and knowing your why.
Yeah.
And really digging deep to know exactly what you want. And then the board, and then steps 8, 9, and 10 are building the board and then creating your action plan and who you need to meet, what you need to learn, who you need to become, see it, be it, do it. Yeah. It's that in depth. And I spent more than 3 years researching and going through my own journals of putting my life back together 20 years ago.
Yeah.
From blowing up a radio career, going through a divorce, and at age 35, being $62,000 in debt, having to crawl home and live with family. Yeah. It was my journey out of that and finding the love of my life and all of this success and becoming a speaker, becoming a stand-up comedian, publishing so far 4 books. Wow. And creating this program. It was all straight out of my notes of what worked for me. I'm not one of those evangelical motivational gurus that says, I can change your life. And I share what worked for me, and it's working very, very well for a lot of other people.
I love it.
And companies.
I love it. I love it. So you'll have to give us the link of where we can find it. So if anyone wants to go through the program, it sounds like it's very worth it.
Yeah, it's I listen to it every year, and somebody actually asked me recently, hey Steve, how often do you listen to your program? I said at least once a year. Would you go back and change anything? Nope.
I love it.
Every time I listen to it, I say, I can improve on that.
Yeah.
It's so bare bones, back to basics, actionable, inspiring, humorous in there as well.
Yeah.
I honestly would not change one syllable of my own program. I was my first student.
It sounds like you poured your heart and soul into it. So I'm sure it's.
Yeah, big time.
I love it. So, all right. So for those of us who showed up with our paper and our pens, I got my little unicorn pen here that I got from my daughter. I got my paper. So for those of us who were like, oh, we're going to make a vision board. What's your advice to them? What's your, I usually, when we get towards the end, I'm like, what's the one golden nugget? We've got like, I don't know, 12 golden nuggets in here already. This is the most golden nuggets we've gotten. And this is a Fearless Friday first, you guys. This is like so many. And honestly, I type pretty fast, but if I could type faster, there would be more. But for those of us who are like, yeah, I got my glitter, I got my glue stick. What do we tell those people? Where should we have them start? And you may have covered this already, but just to kind of summarize, what's the next best thing that they can do to get started, to get their head right to the point where they can, make their little thing here?
Yep. Biggest thing is put down the glitter, put down the glue sticks, put down the scissors, pick up a pen and a sheet of paper and get started figuring out, what do I really want? Not what the world or some motivational guru says success is, because then you're going to wind up with the vision board starter kit with the Lamborghini, the yacht, the private mansion, and all that stuff. Figure out what you really want, and then think in mind the categories that I mentioned earlier: your career, your finances, physical health, emotional well-being. What emotions do you want to feel on a regular, everyday basis? Hardly anybody thinks of that. Your relationships, the ethics and values that guide you. How are you going to go through life to achieve what you want to achieve? Because you can go out there and make $1 million screwing people over. I can't. My ethics and core values have to be on a 10, a scale of 1 to 10 at all times. Your faith and spirituality, if that's important to you, what is the impact on your daily actions and your connection to the world in a real way? If you're feeling isolated, lonely, or a lot of anxiety over the past couple of years, what ways could you reach out on a daily basis that even take a moment to get you to feel more connected with the world and not feel so lonely? Think of all those things. Set one goal for the next 6 months in each one of these. Maybe once a week, you're going to leave a voice message for somebody, cheering them on, or you're going to reach out to somebody and say how much you appreciate them. That's a connection goal. That's an action. Think of one goal, the weight you want to see on your scale at the end of the year, the number of times you're going to have cheat meals each week. How often are you going to tell somebody you're in a relationship with that you love them and appreciate them? All of these things are the goals. And then figure out a picture or a word or a hashtag or a mantra that would represent each one of these things. And if you do have a vehicle as one of your goals, do what the pink Cadillac lady did. Get a picture of it. Go sit in one and have your picture taken. Roll the windows up and smell that new pink Cadillac smell. And you know, there's a reason I ask people, what do your goals look like, feel like, sound like, taste like, even smell like? The more you can attach them to your senses and have an emotionally connected reason as to why you want them, not just because they might be cool, the stronger you are going to be in your daily actions and in your gratitudes for every little click that you took to get there.
So good, you guys. So good. So career, finances, emotions, well-being, ethics and core values, relationships, faith and spirituality, connection to the world. Goals, you guys. Hashtag goals, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah, every single one. And you're going to have a very well integrated, not balanced, integrated version of yourself, because all of these things work together 24/7, whether or not you're aware of it. Every single one of these has an impact on the others. So you might want to be aware of creating the best version of yourself.
Yes. I love it. I love it. I cannot wait. If anyone out there that's watching is going to do the program with Steve, or is going to, well, you know, virtually with Steve, right? Like they're going to sign up for the program and do it. Please let us know. We want to know how you make out. We want to know what you get out of it. We want to know your progress. We want to celebrate your wins. And number two, if you're going to DIY it and you're going to write down on your piece of paper everything Steve said and commit to the goals, we want to know about that too. And we want to celebrate those successes as well. And we're big on celebrating other people's successes in this group anyways. We're all about posting something motivational every single day and, you know, keeping positivity alive in the world, and, you know, bringing amazing speakers like yourself on every week and getting these amazing golden nuggets. So celebrate your wins, you guys. Get on the wooden roller coaster, start clicking. Ron says, thank you. Kim's like, yes, I love it. So Steve, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. I think it was just such just a treat for everybody and for me as well to have you today. Is there any, like I said, like Fearless Friday first, like a gazillion golden nuggets, but any one thing you want to leave us with, like that you didn't know when you were younger that you wish you knew now, or like the one thing that you like really make sure you tell everybody? One last golden nugget if you'd like to share.
Yeah, this is from my dearly departed canine co-author, Super Teddy Maximus. He was a tiny dog with a huge name, and he wrote his own book called Bust Out of Your Crate, and it's going to be relaunched soon because we sold out. His biggest quote that I loved: wake up every day and wag yourself happy, meaning put something positive in your head and in your heart first thing every morning. Don't just watch the news. Don't get into social media and negativity. Don't start with that. If your faith is important to you, read something from whatever your good book is. If you love to laugh first thing in the morning, go on YouTube and find videos that make you laugh. If you love music, say, hey, Alexa, like what I do. I come downstairs, hey, Alexa, play the Rolling Stones. And I do this weird, hybrid Mick Jagger, Keith Richards throughout our house while I'm making breakfast. Wake up every day and wag yourself happy. And you're going to see your days are going to start off a lot better.
Wake up every day and wag yourself happy. And that was K9 Teddy.
Yeah, Super Teddy was his name. He was an amazing little dude, and I got 11 great years with him.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Awesome. Well, Steve, this is awesome. This may be, I might be a little bit impartial, but we've had so many amazing people. This might be the best one we've had yet. No offense to anybody that we've had before. We've had some amazing, amazing speakers so far, but this is my jam. So this is like, I love this stuff. I love the motivational piece of it. I love the inspiration, the positivity. That's what the group's all about. So we're so grateful that we got this time with you. I hope you guys loved it. I hope if you're watching the replay, let us know what golden nuggets you loved. And Steve, thank you so much. We truly appreciate your time. Kim says, I told you.
Well, I am truly, truly honored to be among all the people that you've had on here. And I mean that from the heart. I'm just part of such an amazing group of people. And thank you to Kim for even suggesting my name. I adore you and I appreciate you very, very much. And you as well, Dana.
Thank you so much. Well, hopefully we'll get you on again and do some more of this awesome stuff. And
I would love to.
Yeah, that'll be super fun. We always joke about doing a part 2. We've got a couple of people that I'm like, we should do a part 2. That was so good. We need more. So
anytime.
Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your Friday. You guys make it a great day. Have a great weekend, and we will see you next week. Start those vision boards. Start thinking about those areas that Steve mentioned. And again, remember, we want to celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Every click is a celebration. All right, guys, have a great weekend. All right.